Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to Kottabos Space Program, where today we are having a look at yet another fun mod, this time in the form of the FTL Drive mod, being made by forum user KRH42, which isn't exactly the most memorable name there, but you know what? This mod is very memorable. Now, this is kind of an oddity for me. Normally, whenever I look at mods, I tend to show off ones that come from the add-on release section of the forums. Every now and then, I'll go into the development thread on the forums, but I don't think I've ever looked at a mod that was this early in development. This is like very, very early 0.001 version of this mod, but it's already at a state that I really, really like, and well, from the name you can probably guess what it does. It's a faster-than-light drive for Kerbal Space Program. And so let's head into the VAB to take a look at the parts that this adds and talk about why it's unique and why I really, really like it. Now, at the moment, pretty much any FTL drive that you have in the game works either by making your ship go really, really fast. It's just a really insanely powerful engine that uses a whole load of electricity, or it's essentially a glorified hyper-edit engine that just magically puts you where you want to go. This one, on the other hand, if we go to Utility, where we find the two separate parts that you need for this to work, is why I really like it. To me, it's the least cheaty of all the different faster-than-light engines, because we have two things that make this mod up. We have this FTL beacon, and this FTL Drive right here. And these are the two bits to this mod. Not exactly the most amazing of models or textures here, but again, this is a very, very early version of this, so hopefully we'll get some really cool, unique models and textures in the future. For now, we just have like the little radiation symbol on what kind of looks like granite almost, or almost like the moon texture has been put on this. But yes, these two parts together make up this mod. And the whole point of it is, you put one of these beacons into space somewhere where you want to travel to. And you have to get it there the old-fashioned way. So you've got to send a rocket, do planetary transfers and all of that, and get this beacon to wherever it is you want to go faster than light. And then you put up a ship with this FTL Drive on it, and this is how you then travel to this beacon. You'll notice here we have a button that allows you to select which beacon you want to go to, and then to actually activate the engine and jump. And this combination of two parts is why I like this. Because it's not just an engine that goes really fast using a lot of electricity. You have to physically and slowly get your beacons in place to set up like an FTL network in the solar system, and they have to be placed correctly. Because here's one thing, another reason why I like this and why I don't find it very cheaty: gravity affects them. Technically. Basically how it's done is the closer these things are to a planet, both the beacon and the jump drive here, the more difficult it is for you to jump. And so you need to put the beacon really far away from a planet, and then you have to put your ship that's going to jump also really far away from the planet you launched it from. And so you still have to use traditional rocketry to get to where you want to go. It's just then the ship with the drive will get to this beacon much more quickly than the beacon ship did to get to Duna. Now this, I may have confused someone on this, so what we're going to do is show it off. I have a beacon around Duna at the moment, and a jump ship in orbit around Kerbin, so let's just go to the tracking station and we can talk more about it, why we are there. So, go to here, and go to our jump ship. Well, first, we'll take a look at the Duna beacon. Now you'll notice, I have this Duna beacon at a 2.5 million orbit around Duna, because if it's any closer than that, I have a hard time actually jumping to this beacon. So if we say had the beacon at like a more standard orbit of 500,000 meters, essentially it would be impossible for you to jump to this beacon. So it has to be far away from any major gravitational forces. So, you know, you've got to keep it well away from planets, well away from moons. Thankfully, I mean, eventually this beacon will become useless when we get to a closer point with Ike here, but where it is right now, we're pretty much good. And same thing goes for the sun. If you put one of these beacons around the sun, it's got to be way out there for you to actually jump to it. Now, our jump ship, on the other hand, is currently at a similar orbit. It's at 2.5 million, and if we actually go to this ship, you will notice that even at 2.5 million, if we actually go to the beacon here, all right, click select the Duna beacon, we cannot jump to Duna, because right now our force required is 12,372.1, and we cannot exceed 2,500. If I jump this ship right now, actually, I will do that. Let's first quick save, hit jump. The FTL Drive is spinning up, and it should launch here momentarily, and wait for it, boom, we explode. The jump failed, because the idea being that essentially the gravitational forces just destroyed you, because you shouldn't be this close to a planet when jumping, because we're really, really close to Kerbin. But if I bring up Hyper Edit, and you gotta love glorious Hyper Edit, and put us to, say, 10 million. Well, hold on a second, I want this to be a nice rounded number here. There we go, 10 million meter orbit around Kerbin. That's the battery. And select the beacon, you'll now see we only require 2,333.9 Ns. I'm not entirely sure what the N is on this. I mean, technically, N's usually newtons, but I don't know if that quite fits in with an FTL jump. But now we are within spec. We could jump to Duna, and in fact, if we hit this, and notice, we are using quite a bit of electricity. It seems to be spiking between -69 and -100 something. There we go. We have used about roughly 2,000 electrical charge, and now we're about 650 meters away from our beacon in orbit around Duna. And that's how this works. Now, if I wanted to go back to Kerbin, I can't, because I don't have a beacon around Kerbin. So I would have to get this ship back the old-fashioned way, which it definitely wouldn't be able to. And we actually could jump to this FTL beacon. That would be the most useless trip ever. But we're doing it. I'm actually curious. I've never jumped to a beacon this close. Will it work, or will it explode? Let's find out. And jump completed, and we're in exactly the same spot. We didn't use nearly as much power, though. But yes, this is why I love this mod. It's not just an engine that goes fast. If you want to get from one planet to another faster than light, you have to manually, physically set up a system of beacons for you to go back and forth. Because, yeah, right now, if I try to go to another beacon, I can't. Duna is the only beacon I have. And so this ship is essentially stuck here now, because with these 4 engines and that fuel, it ain't making it back to Kerbin. Hell, I don't even... Oh, yeah, well, it'd probably make it to Ike. We could probably make it there. But our Kerbals would then die there. As Jebediah seems pleased by. He's loving it. But yeah, I love this idea that you have to build a network of beacons that you then have to jump to. It really reminds me sort of the jump drive system from Battlestar Galactica. Oh boy, I'm a nerd. But I love it. You have to actually know where you're going, then spin up the engine to actually jump to that location. And if you don't know where you're going, you don't want to jump because, well, you'll explode. And, well, you don't want that. And the fact that you also have to keep these beacons far enough away from planets, it makes it even better to me. Because with, one of the other FTL engines, we could just fly really fast, really close to the planet, use its atmosphere to sort of aero brake us, and, get ourselves into a nice orbit around there pretty quickly. But not with this ship. We're 2.5 million kilometers away. I've got to get our orbit down closer to Duna before we could do anything. And, well, that makes me happy, because to me, it's less cheaty, less, gimmicky. You actually have to put in more effort into it, which is why I like it. Now, some people still may say, oh, well, you're still instantaneously traveling from Kerbin to Duna. But remember, I had to get this beacon out here to a orbit of 2.5 million. This ship had to get out to a 10 million meter orbit around Kerbin before it could successfully launch without blowing up. So you still have to make old-fashioned rockets that can get you to places and get you into high orbits for you to actually then make it to where you need to go. It just saves you the time of the trip between those 2 points, and I'm okay with that personally. And yeah, I hope you guys are too, because it's just fun. I really like it. I love it. It is the least cheaty of all of the FTL drives, in my opinion. And if you would like to check it out for yourself, again, remember, very, very early development build. But if you'd like to check it out, link in the description as always. And I hope you guys do, because it is a really, really cool mod. I love FTL mods, especially ones that don't feel cheaty. So give it a go. Hopefully you'll enjoy it too, and hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. And of course that you come back for the next, when we will be looking at, hopefully, yet another fun mod. But until then, thank you for watching, my friends, and as always, have a good one. Now I'm gonna go and build a big network of beacons and travel all over the stars. It'll be glorious, glorious. Later.